Hey, this is Mike Barnes, the financial first responder. Hey, I want to tell you a little story about me. Because I realized that a lot of you in YouTube land don't really know me. So let's start from the beginning. I was born in the 70s, 1970 to be exact, to my mother and father. My mother, a teacher, my father, a preacher. So I came from humble beginnings. And this story that I'm about to tell you or talk to you about is a question that I thought about a lot. And I know you probably thought about it. And this question deals with, does money really solve problems? Growing up in North Carolina, to parents that loved me, cared for me, took care of me, as well as grandparents, aunts, uncles. There was nothing but love in the house. Church was very important. School was important, as you can imagine. And it got me thinking, if I had to come up with 7 reasons of how money could solve your problem, would it be important to you? See, these 7 reasons are real basic, very basic. When you hear them, you're going to be like, what? Really? This is what the financial first responder is saying? Yes, this is what I'm saying. So I'm going to say it like this. When I was growing up, I didn't know much about money. Parents didn't talk to me much about money. That might even be your situation. Had to learn about money the hard way. Had to make some mistakes. Had to get some information. Had to get licensed. Had to get trained. A lot like you. And one of the things we start with first is the first reason why money should be important to you, or anybody for that matter, is basic needs and survival. Basic needs and survival. What are we talking about? Talking about food, shelter, basic stuff, clothes, healthcare. Now, why would I say that? Because if you have no money, or if you've ever been in a situation where your parents didn't have any money, you've witnessed what it was like not having the basics. The basics, the food groups, shelter, running water, light, or even being able to go to the doctor. And we've seen over the years with healthcare issues, with people being sick and not being able to afford medicine, leads us into number 2, healthcare. Now, we've talked about Affordable Care Act, or as commonly known, Obamacare, where employers are required to offer you healthcare, or you're required to have healthcare. And as the financial advisor, I talk to people all the time about how much they pay for health insurance. Some people don't realize when they work for smaller companies that if the companies are not large in scale, or they're not part of a group, they tend to have higher premiums, which you as the employee will have to pay. And then it leads me into number 3, the third reason, education. Let's talk about education for a second. You see, education is not always what one would think. I've been blessed to graduate high school, graduate college, graduate with a master's in business administration, finance, worked in financial industries, banks, insurance companies, investment companies. I've been fortunate because that was my track record. That's what I pursued. But everybody does not pursue that. That doesn't make me right and them wrong. That just means that that's their profession or that's their skill set. So when we're talking about a education, we're really talking about skill development. Because let's say that college was not in your plan. Now, my parents didn't save for me to go to school. I went in the United States Marine Corps when I was 18 years old, and I used part of that money to go to college, part loans. I am a veteran of Desert Star and Desert Shield. I'm still currently serving in the U.S. Army Reserve. And I've learned over time that the decisions I made at 18 have allowed me the opportunity to grow in my career because of the networks I made and because of the people I may have served with or the people I know because of serving. Even after high school or education after high school, people decide to go on to the local community college or to get a skill set. Maybe they become a plumber, maybe they become an electrician, they become a carpenter, maybe they become a skilled worker of some sort. And those people tend to make good money because everybody can't do what they do, right? But does money really solve your problems? That leads us to your fourth step, or your fourth number, reducing stress. Now, this is what I do know because I have struggled over time. I have 3 children. My oldest is 25 right now. My next one is 18 in college, and I have a 16-year-old in high school. And I can tell you that money is a big thing in most middle-class families, definitely in most poor families, and money is a big deal in rich families. So why do I say it's a big deal? Because it reduces stress. Real and simple. I mean, think about it. If you get paid on Friday and by Monday you have no money because you paid everything out, yeah, you paid your bills on time, but did you pay yourself? You should always give yourself 10% before you give anybody any money. I would say give yourself 10% through your investments, 10% to your local church or charity or mosque or synagogue. And then you work towards reducing the amount of your expenditures. Now, when we talk about the fifth step is investing in your personal growth. Now, what do I mean by that? Most people do not continue to educate themselves after they graduate high school. This could be books on tape, this could be seminars, this could be mentors, this could be workshops, this could be picking up additional certification or skill. It is educating yourself so that you have a skill set. Just because a person goes to college doesn't mean that they're going to use the information that they start out with. I went to North Carolina Central University. I got my degree in biology with a minor in chemistry. I worked in my field for about 6 months and hated it. Decided I wanted to do something else. I decided I wanted to be in finance. So I'm saying to you that just because you go to school, you might not use what you went to school for. And unfortunately, a lot of people borrow to go to school. And let me say this up front. Everybody does not need to go to school, meaning college. There are plenty of 6-figure earners who work in the trade field. They just do a different type of work and they make a decent wage, taking care of their families, themselves, relatives, or whoever. So then leads us to number 6. So we talk about this growth process. You may want to be a philanthropist, or you may want to make some type of social impact. You may do this through your local church, synagogue, mosque. You may do this through charitable organizations. You may do this through helping the local Boys and Girls Club. You may do this in your fraternities or sororities. You may do this in a lot of ways. But one thing I do know is that as you get older, you figure out it's not all about you. It's about other people and their needs and how you can be of service to them. And then that last one, that seventh one, it's the freedom and options you want. Now, what do I mean by that? There's a lot of people that will work, and never take a vacation. And then when they retire, they die. I want to stimulate in your mind for a second. What would it be like to take a family vacation once a year and then take a vacation with your spouse or your significant other and then take a vacation on your own? Or maybe you take another vacation with your best friends, fraternity brothers, sorority sisters, or just a group of friends, just to enjoy, right? Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be the Caribbean, doesn't have to be Spain or Portugal or Italy or Dubai or Bali or Singapore or Thailand or any of those places. Italy. Do any of those sound good to you? See, what I know is money does solve problems. Now, what I would suggest to you is that you need to get with somebody like a financial first responder, i.e. a financial advisor, a financial planner. And you want to sit down with that individual and basically talk about you. Because guess what? It's not how much money you make. It's how much you keep. And what I've experienced in dealing with clients, whether they are highly educated in finance or whether they are highly educated in another field and don't know a lot about finance, is we all have a basic need. We have a need for food, shelter, and clothes. We have a need for good health care and healthcare treatment if we get sick. We have a need to educate ourselves to a skill set or some level. We have a need to have reduced stress and no anxiety because of money. We have a need to have investments in personal growth. Notice I have not talked about money at all. I've just talked about money as a tool. We have a need to be a philanthropist or provide a social impact. And we have a need to be able to have freedom and options. See, in the United States, we are here because of our founding fathers wanted freedom from Britain. And what I would say to you is that a lot of you have really put yourself in a situation where you don't have any freedom anymore because you're strapped with bills. You don't use a budget. And if I'm talking to you, feel free to DM me after this video and let me know how I can help you. Because once again, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. Now, I hope this message has been thought-provoking. I hope that you understand that there are 7 reasons that money can solve your problems, right? Because I don't know your problems. And I hope you know that with a little bit of faith, a little bit of understanding, you can actually change your financial future. Until we talk again, God bless